Hello everyone and welcome to Tips for Writing Your Own Imaginative Work. This is for the Tell Your Story competition which the Neighbourhood Centre in Bathurst is running, and we're super excited to give you these tips so that you can get started and get your submissions into us. So without further ado, let's move on to the next slide. So this is the content. Don't worry, we're going to go through these in much closer detail. But first of all, we've got show, don't tell, then write from your experiences, embrace your style, writing techniques, world building, connotations, grammar for effect, don't be scared to experiment, prompts, ask for advice, find inspiration, and have fun. So that's what's in store for you ahead of this video. And also we're going to keep making reference to this book called Brave the Page by Rebecca Stern and Grant Faulkner. We just got this from the Bathurst Library. Bathurst Library have been really great offering advice and publicity to us, but also books. We also have links on the website that come from this book and the NaNoWriMo competition that writes a novel in a year, and there's heaps of great videos and great tips in that and in this book, so why not both? So moving right along, our first tip is to show, don't tell. So we want you to be descriptive and set the scene for us. And sometimes you can do that by just telling us what is happening rather than showing us what's happening. So you could just say what's happening rather than explaining how or why those things are happening. So for example, I could say the room was dark, or I could say the room had a dark shadow over it due to the incoming thunderstorm. So you can see the difference between those. The first one tells us the room is dark, and the second one explains why it's dark, because there's a thunderstorm coming, and a bit more about how it's dark. So think about that as you're writing. Are you showing or are you telling? Our second tip for you is to write from your experiences. The whole idea of this competition is for you to tell your story, and quite often when you're writing from your own experience, it creates a much sturdier foundation, and it will always be more realistic if you're speaking from experience. Now, this doesn't mean that we just want a recount of your life. You can do that if you want to. However, you can also just base your story on an experience you've had, or one of your friends has had, or a family member, and just draw inspiration from that would be our recommendation, because it's going to seem more authentic and realistic and meaningful to you, and that will show through your writing. Our third tip is to embrace your style. Don't be pressured to write in another style. Don't try and copy anyone else's story, because that's not the point. The point is for you to tell your story, and you can tell it however you want to tell it. So this is not just limited to writing. You can also draw a comic, as we've said, and you can also write a poem, or you can write a movie script or a play script. However you want to do it, that's up to you. But we want to encourage you to embrace your style, whichever genre you choose. Our fourth tip is about writing techniques. It's going to sound like school, but writing techniques can make your writing much more engaging. So we would encourage you to use your senses, ask how your character might be feeling, and use more specific writing techniques like onomatopoeia or metaphors or similes. So going back to using your senses, make sure that you're explaining what you can see, what you can touch, what you can smell, what you can hear. All of those senses will give us more of an image of what you're trying to describe. And by asking how your character might be feeling, you're just allowing for emotions and just more of substance to your character and your story. And then onomatopoeia, metaphors, similes, again, you don't have to include these, but it's really cool. So look up some writing techniques, see if you can learn a few more new ones and try and put them in your story. Our fifth tip is world building. So world building pulls you into your story's universe and pulls us in as readers into your universe. So tell us, where is your story set? Set it straight away so that we know where the story's going and we can follow the world that you've built for us. So give us little details that are unique to the place so that we really get to know this world that you've set your story in. A sixth tip is connotations. So connotations portray ideas without explicitly stating them. So pay attention to the way that you're saying something because it's going to make it more or less positive. It could make it negative, and that may not be what you want. So, for example, if you say a place is sunny, that suggests that it's happy, it's positive, it's exciting, it's new. But if you say it's gloomy, that suggests that it's sad, depressing, not exciting, boring. So really pay attention to the words that you use, the descriptive words you use when you're writing, because that is going to have an effect either way, and make sure it's the one that you want. Seventh tip is grammar for effect. So grammar doesn't just have to be technical. It's not just about ticking all the boxes and following the right rules in grammar. We want you to also be using grammar as a powerful tool that can change the meaning of a sentence or the emphasis. So, for example, a comma is a very powerful tool. It can totally change the meaning of the sentence depending where you put it. So pay attention to your grammar and how you use it. Our eighth tip is don't be scared to experiment. You can either plan, or you can fly by the seat of your pants, or you can meet somewhere in the middle. But ultimately, we want you to do whatever's comfortable for you. You can plan out every little detail of your story and the start and the finish and everything that happens in between, or you can start with a very general idea and just go for it and see where the story ends up. Or you can meet in the middle with a kind of general plan with a couple of points so you have a direction but still freedom to go wherever your characters want to go or wherever your story wants to go. So we want to encourage you to let your characters go their own way. Don't set out your characters so that you can get to know them and then write the story around them rather than the other way around. Don't just assume what your characters are going to do. Like really hone in on your characters and what they would do, because you want to be guided by them instead of writing into them what you want. Okay, number 9. This is a very exciting tip because Brave the Page has a very specific very specific tips about prompts. So they tell you to mine your life. Now I'm going to read a direct quote from the book that says, mining your life is digging deep to uncover experiences and emotions and memories and dreams. And then you gather them in a pile and watch as they ignite and spark story ideas. They can be simple moments or heated conversations or the smell of your favorite holiday. And some other examples that they put in of prompts is a time you tried something new, a time you're scared or embarrassed, things that make you feel emotion, things that make you laugh, things you do every day. So you can see a lot of these prompts seem kind of mundane and everyday, but you never know. They might just spark a story. So if you're stuck with what you want to write, take any of these prompt ideas and use them to your advantage. Just list some things, see what happens. Number 10, almost there, only 3 more tips to go. Number 10 is to ask for advice. So talk to your friends or teachers about your story to get ideas from them, and even brainstorm. Sit down and brainstorm with your friends. You ask your teacher to read over it, or a friend, or your parents. Just really make this a group effort by including people in your life, in your story. Number 11 is find inspiration. So pick up your favorite book or go to your favorite place, because if you're stuck for ideas, there's inspiration all around you. All you have to do is look for it to be able to find it. So yeah, if you've got a favorite book, pick it up, read it, and really have a look at what works and what you like about that story, or go to your favorite place and just start writing down what you see. Yeah, there's inspiration all around you. All you have to do is look for it. And last but not least, number 12, have fun. Easy, right? We don't want this to be another assignment for you. It's in the holidays, so we just want you to have fun with it. If you like writing stories or like drawing comics, then this is for you. If you don't, give it a go, because we want you to have fun with it, and we want you to really enjoy the experience of telling your story, because we're really excited to read them as well. So, if you've gotten through all the tips, you've written your story, how do you submit it? Step 1 is go to our website, which you're probably already on because you're watching this video, but bink.org.au/tellyourstory. Click on the drop form at the bottom of the page, so just keep scrolling, fill out the form, and then either attach your document, check in person, or copy and paste your story depending on your preference, and then submit it. That's done. And then winners will be announced on the 22nd of October. So don't forget, submissions are closing on the 10th of October. And we'll have that bit of time to look over them. Our panel will read over them and decide on the winners, and they'll be announced on the 22nd of October. So thank you so much. We're really looking forward to reading your work and really excited to see what stories you have to tell. So thanks for watching.